What's up y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be creating 4 different eye looks with 4 different eyeshadow palettes. I am super excited about this. I love these kind of videos. It's my way to test out new eyeshadow palettes without doing a full-on designated video, but still giving you an idea of how they're going to perform, a little bit of inspiration, and my first initial impression thoughts. So we are going to be playing with the Mermazing palette from Klarity Cosmetics, and this is what this one looks like right here. Absolutely love the color story. This is gorgeous. We have the Lotus Bloom palette from Sinful. This is a new to me brand, but again, look at the color story. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm excited about this one. We have High Temp from Unearthly Cosmetics. Absolutely beautiful warm tone color story with a smattering of cool tones at the bottom. And then last but not least, we have the palette that is currently on my eyes at the moment, and that is the Legend of Ardra palette from Adept Cosmetics. And this one is so beautiful. These 2 shades in the middle are absolutely stunning. I will have all of these palettes as well as everything I use to create these looks listed and linked down below in the description box. So per usual, if you're ever curious about anything that I use in any of my videos, always check the description box. I squeeze as much information as I possibly can into that tiny little space. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first look with the first palette. Alright, so up first we're going to play with the Mermazing palette from Klarity Cosmetics. This is a remastered version of a palette that they've had before in the past. I never had that one, but I'm really excited about this one. I love the color story. I think the packaging is absolutely beautiful, but on the inside we have this really pretty blue, green, and purple color story. When I look at this palette, I see it in 3 different quads. So I see like a blue quad, a green quad, and a purple quad over here. I love the ratio of mattes to shimmers in this palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I have really been enjoying the Klarity Cosmetics formula, so I'm excited about this one. And I think what we're going to do for this look is we're going to play with this center quad right here. The greens are calling to me. These 2 shades here I think are absolutely gorgeous. So for this look, we're going to go ahead and start with this shade up here. This one is called Shimmer Shimmy. That's cute. I love the name. They always have really cute names in their palettes. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this shade up with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush, and I'm just going to kind of put this into my crease. Build up the shape, the definition, give a little bit of color, and then we'll go in with that darker green and build out the crease. I'm going to take this shade onto my lower lash line as well, just kind of wrap it around. I'm not going to go too crazy with this look. Like I said, I just want to stick to that center quad. For my outer corner, I want to go in with this deep green shade down here. This one is called Part of That World. Oh, I love the little nod to the Little Mermaid. So I'm going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO6 brush, and I'm just going to start to pat this into my outer corner, build up that depth and that definition. And I'm going to bring it probably almost halfway over. Not quite halfway, but pretty close. Alright, so I am taking this shade onto the lower lash line, but I'm just keeping it on the outer portion of my lower lash line just to kind of give that nice definition out here, that nice depth, a little bit of smokiness, but I'm not going to take it all the way across. Alright, let's do some shimmer on this lid. So I've already gone ahead and primed my eye with my NYX glitter primer. So we're going to do a combination of these 2 shades right here. So we're going to start with this top one, which is called Get Off My Tail, and I'm going to do that on a majority of the lid, and then on the rest of it in the inner corner we're going to go in with this one down here, which is called Don't Be Such a Guppy. I love the names in here. They're so cute. Alright, so I'm going to pick up the shade Get Off My Tail, which is this really pretty deep green shimmer, and I'm going to put this all over the lid, and I'm going to bring it over to about right there. So not quite all the way over. I'm just going to leave that little bit of space open. Alright, for the rest of my lid in my inner corner, I picked up the shade Don't Be Such a Guppy on my Singe Beauty EO1 brush, sprayed it with some MAC Fix Plus, and I'm just going to pop it in here and bring it onto the rest of the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. Should have done that all over. Alright y'all, so this is the completed look, and I love the way this turned out. I know it's very monochromatic, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm loving the shimmers on the lid. I'm loving the tones of the greens. They're a little bit different. They almost have like a seafoam shade to them, and I think they're absolutely beautiful. Okay, to finish off this look, I went in with an Appeal Gel Liner in the shade Forest Green. This is one of the ones that I got in, I think, last month's Ice Cream Beauty Box. box. I just put that in my lower waterline. I lined my lid with my ZC liquid liner that I've been testing out. And then for mascara, I went in with the Catrice Lash Changer Volume Mascara. And I think this is beautiful. I absolutely love it. I'm excited about this palette. I have really been enjoying the Klarity Cosmetics formula. Like I said at the beginning of this look, I don't have a lot of experience with the brand. This is my third palette from them, one of which I think it was their older formula, and I've really been enjoying their newer formula. I think the color story in here is absolutely beautiful. I love that we have lighter washes of color in here, and this one I did have to build up to that opacity, but it wasn't hard. It didn't take a lot of work or anything like that. I didn't experience any fallout, any patching or skipping or anything like that. I like that we have a more buildable formula. It was very easy to work with, and I thought this was beautiful. These two shimmers right here went on the lid really nicely. They're very reflective, very beautiful. I didn't get any fallout. They didn't grab. They're not accentuating texture on my lid. They didn't feel super gritty or dry. They just felt like a really good, almost wet feeling shimmer formula. So I'm excited about this palette. I think it's beautiful. I definitely want to create at least 2 more looks, one with each of these quads and then maybe another one kind of mixing and matching all the shades in here. But first impression, based off of this one little quad in the middle, this is a beautiful palette and I'm really enjoying it. But let's go ahead and pop over to our next look. Next, we're going to play with the Lotus Blossom palette. This is from Sinful Echoes. This is a brand over on Etsy. I will have their shop listed down below in the description box because as of now, this palette is currently sold out. The brand did say they do plan on restocking it. I don't know when. So if you're interested in this palette, you can go follow their shop on Etsy. You can follow them on Instagram and they will give you all the details. But this is absolutely gorgeous. This is almost a monochromatic purple palette, but you do have these pops of blues right here. And then you have these beautiful shifty shimmers down here. Like, look at this one on the end. I know you can see that green to purple shift, and even this one right here, it's like a green to a teal to a bright blue. Absolutely stunning. So for this look, I really want to utilize this blue right here, maybe even this one, and then obviously we'll play with some purple. So kind of what I'm thinking is I want to do this on the inner corner. So I'm going to go ahead and start there, and then we'll move into the crease and into the outer corner. So that shade is called Aqueous. I don't know if that's right or not. We're gonna go with that though. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick that shade up with a Singe Beauty EO2 brush. And like I said, I'm just gonna start to put this into my inner corner, kind of as a little pop of color. Ooh, look how bright and vibrant that is. That is gorgeous. I am getting quite a bit of kick up in the pan, but I'm not getting any fallout on my face, under my eye, or anything like that. Okay, so next I want to go in with this shade right here. This one is called Lace. I'm going to pick that up with the same brush I just used, my Singe Beauty EO2. I just kind of cleaned it off on my Sigma switch. And I want to put this one in the crease right next to that blue and kind of bring it maybe about halfway over. So next I'm going to dip into this shade right here. This one is called Iris. I'm going to pick that one up with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush, and I'm just going to put this one on the rest of my outer crease, bringing it into my outer corner as well, starting to build up some depth. And I also want to make sure that everything is nice and blended. Okay, so I really want to deepen up this outer corner. I don't think I want to go this dark with this look, so I'm kind of thinking of maybe going in with this more like warm tone purple over here. It has a little bit more red in it than this one over here. So this shade is called Dusk, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick that one up with my Morphe M506 brush, and I'm going to just kind of put this into my outer corner, building up some depth and definition. But I don't want to take it too dark and too dramatic. I just want that little pop out here. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. This one is called Chariot. It's like a really deep teal shade. So I'm going to pick that up with a Sigma E54 brush. And I'm going to put this onto my lower lash line. I am going to kind of buff it out a little bit. I don't want to get too carried away with it, but I'm also not trying to tight line either. I just want to add that pop of color down here. Okay, so for the lid, I think what I want to do is I want to play with these two shades right here. So I'm going to pick this one up first and put it all over my lid, and then I'm going to take this one and put it on like the very inner corner of my lid and wrap it around into the actual inner corner of my eye. So I'm going to start with this one right here. This one is called Christine. It's this really pretty multi-chrome shade. It has like this really pretty like green to purple shift in it. So I'm going to go ahead and pat this right here on my eye. I have primed it with my NYX glitter primer per usual. And I will say, picking up this shimmer, it doesn't feel like really dry and gritty, but it also doesn't feel very creamy or wet or putty like either. But I'm not having any issues getting it on. It's going on absolutely beautifully. I love that shift and I love how reflective that is. So with my Sandy Beauty EO1 brush, I picked up that lighter shimmer shade called Illusion, and I'm going to pop this one right here on my inner corner, and I'm going to bring it up onto that inner portion of my lid and just kind of blend everything together. And this is the completed look with the palette. I really love the way this turned out. I think it's beautiful. That shimmer on the lid is so stunning. It's very smooth. It's very reflective. I can see all of those shifts. And I really love that pop of blue on the inner corner and that pop of teal on the lower lash line. But to finish up this look, I went in with a NYX Epic Wear liner. This is in the shade Blue Trip. I put this in my lower waterline. And then I lined my lid with my ZC liquid liner and then threw on a little bit of my Catrice Lash Changer volume mascara. But let me give you my thoughts really quick on this palette. So first of all, this is beautiful. I like the packaging. I like the color story. I love this little bit of reflection around the Lotus on the front. This does feel very nice. It's very sturdy. You do get a nice mirror in here, and I think the color story is beautiful. Now I will tell you, the mattes in this palette are very powdery. They're not super creamy or soft to the touch. You do get a ton of kick up in the pan, and they are lightly pigmented, but they are buildable. So with that being said, your best bet is going to go from dark to light with this palette. So while I was able to build up that depth in the outer corner, I had to work at it really hard because I was going on top of a lighter shade. So just keep that in mind if you picked up this palette or you plan on picking it up in the future. You want to work dark to light. But other than that, I didn't have any issues with patching, skipping, fallout, anything like that. The shimmers in here are beautiful. They feel really nice. They don't feel super dry or rough, and they are beautiful on the lid. They have a little bit more of a transparent base, so they're not a black based multi-chrome or anything like that, but they're also not like a topper shade either. They are a little bit more pigmented but this is a beautiful palette. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to have it. You are going to get very purple heavy looks with this palette, but it makes me excited for what else the brand has to offer in the future. I know that they're coming out with another palette very, very soon, and I can't wait to see what that one's going to look like. But let's go ahead and move on to our next look with our next palette. Alright, the Unearthly Cosmetics High Temp palette. First of all, packaging is absolutely gorgeous, but this is one of their 12 pan palettes, and look at this color story. This is so pretty. This is giving me summer into fall vibes, and I'm excited about this one. We have all of these really pretty like mauve and purpley shades down here, and then we have this bright like red, orange, and yellow up here. So I think what I want to do is I want to play with this top row. So I'm going to start with this shade over here. This one is called Bright, and I'm going to pop that into my inner corner. So I'm going to pick that shade up with a Game Beauty EO7 brush, and like I said, I'm just going to pop this into my inner corner, and then I'm gradually going to work my way across that top row and move into my outer corner. That yellow is so bright and pigmented. I love it. Okay, I'm excited. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. This one is called Summery. I'm going to go in with the same brush. I just kind of wiped it off a little bit, and I'm going to put this one into the crease next to that first shade that we put down and just slowly start to build that gradient. I'm going to take it not quite halfway over, but I'm going to stop like right here where my brow starts to kind of curve upwards into my arch. With my Morphe M453 brush, I'm going to go into this orange shade right here called Fiery. And again, I'm just going to start to stack it next to the shade that we just put down before and keep building that gradient. I'm going to bring this one though all the way over to about right there, leaving this little bit of gap. And then whenever I get to where that yellow gold shade is, I'm just going to kind of tap to blend them together. And next I'm going in with that red shade called Heated. This is a Singe Beauty EO4 brush. I'm going to start to tap this into my outer corner and kind of build out that shape over here and make sure everything is nice and blended. Alright, so I went ahead and just kind of mimicked everything I did on my lid onto my lower lash line, and I really love the way that everything turned out. I love the way that it blended, but let's go ahead and do some shimmer. So I think what I want to do is just one shimmer on the lid. I want to leave the inner corner matte. I don't think I want to do like any sort of gradient or anything. So I'm really thinking I want to go in with this shade over here. This one is called Glowing. I think it might have maybe a little bit of a flip to it, but not much. But we're going to go ahead and pick that up on my finger, and oh yeah, that's gonna look so pretty. That is definitely a duochrome. I'm gonna pop this all over the lid and bring it over to the inner corner, and then just kind of blend it into that matte out here. Alright y'all, so this is the completed look with this palette, and I really like the way this turned out. I think it's so bright, so fun, and it just came out really beautiful. That copper shade on the lid, I think it complements the other shades really, really well. It kind of brings the whole look together. But let me show you what I used to finish off this look, and then I'll give you some of my thoughts on this palette. So for my lower waterline, I went in with an LA Girl neon liner. This is in the shade Screamin', and then I decided to skip out on the liquid eyeliner, give all these shades a moment of their own, and just went in with my Catrice Lash Changer Volume Mascara. But let's chat about this palette. So first of all, I think the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I'm loving the slim 12 pan layout that they've had lately, but the artwork is beautiful. Unearthly always has really pretty artwork on their palettes, and I think the color story in here is very pretty. It definitely goes with the theme, but I love that we have a very matte heavy palette with only 4 shimmers in here, and I think the variety of shimmers are very complementary to all of the shades in here. The mattes perform beautifully. I love that we have these bright fiery shades up at the top, and down at the bottom we have these more subdued, almost neutral shades. They do lean a little bit mauve and pink, but they can absolutely be used as neutrals. So overall, I think this is a beautiful palette. I actually ended up liking it more than I really thought I was going to straight out the gate, but it's gorgeous. So if you like the brand and you like the color story, I don't think you would be disappointed in this one. But let's go ahead and move on to our last palette. Last but not least, we have the Adept Cosmetics Legend of Ardra palette. Look at this absolutely gorgeous packaging. I think this is the prettiest packaging I have ever seen from the brand, but the color story in here I thought was absolutely beautiful. I like the selection of mattes down here and the shimmers. These two, like, look at how gorgeous those are. You could absolutely go in very precisely, pick up just a certain color, swirl your brush together, whatever your heart desires. But the brand did say this is a very limited edition palette. As of now, when I'm filming this, it is available for pre-order on the website, and I believe that pre-order closes on August 9th or until it sells out. I don't think they plan on bringing it back, at least that's what they said. We've heard that before though, specifically with the Arrow inspired palette. They did end up bringing that one back, so you never know. But I would say if you have your heart set on this palette and you haven't picked it up yet, go ahead and snag it while you absolutely can. But I'm excited about this one. I'm really curious about the mattes in this palette. Adept doesn't have my favorite matte formula. They're kind of hit or miss. So I'm curious to see what they've done with these mattes. So I think what I want to do for this look is I want to play with this purple, this pink, and this peachy shade. So that's what we're gonna do. So I wanna start out by putting this shade over here in my inner corner. This one is called Grudge, and the Legend of Ardra, I do know, is like a nod to Star Trek. I've never seen Star Trek, but I know enough about it to kind of catch some of the little things that they're putting out there for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick this shade up with a Singe Beauty EO2, and I'm gonna put this into my inner corner and see how these mattes perform. Okay, that is pigmented, that is beautiful. So far, so good. All right, so next I want to go in with this hot pink shade right here. This one is called 1,000 Years, and I want to put that one all in my crease and bring it over into my outer corner, kind of wrap it around onto my lower lash line. So for that, I'm going to go in with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush and just start to kind of pack this on first, and then once I have the color on there, I'll kind of fluff out the edges and make sure that we don't have any harsh lines and it's nice and blended. All right, so with a Singe Beauty EO4 brush, I'm going to pick up this purple shade over here called Myth, and I'm going to put this in my outer corner, giving me that depth and drama that I want. So I'm going to kind of tap it on, and then I will start to fluff it into the crease, bringing it up just slightly. And I am going to bring this on to the outer portion of my lower lash line as well, just kind of bringing it as far over as I bring it on my lid. All right, so let's do a shimmer on this lid. Now we do have quite a few options, but these two shades right here in the middle are definitely calling my name. I really want to see how they're going to play out on the lid. So I think what I want to do, I can't decide if I want to swirl them together or if I want to go in kind of specifically with like this pink shade right here. Oh, this is really hard to decide, but I think that might be what I'm gonna do. So I think I'm gonna pick up just like this pinky shade right here on this kind of marbled shade. This one is called Mendora. So to do that, I'm actually gonna pick it up with a Singe Beauty EO1. I don't usually apply shimmers on my lid with a brush, but I feel like this just kind of calls for it. So I'm just going to very carefully, if I can do this without showing you everything, kind of dig into this portion of the shade down here, and then I'm going to spray it with some MAC Fix Plus and put this all over my lid. So let's pick up a good little amount of this. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to spray it and pop this all over the lid. So I'm going to go ahead and press it on first, kind of getting it where I want it, and then I'll go back and kind of blend it and make sure we don't have any harsh lines. But that is really pretty. It's actually picking up really, really nicely with a brush. I'm really impressed. All right, y'all, so that is going to complete this look with this palette, and I absolutely love the way that this turned out. It is so bright, fun, and just colorful, and I love that shimmer on the lid. It is so shifty and sparkly, and just, it's beautiful. The fact that I used just the tiny little corner of one of those shades and got this result, it makes me so excited for this palette. But let me show you what I used to finish off this look, and then I'll give you my first initial impression thoughts of this palette. So in my lower waterline, I went in with a NYX Epic Wear liner. This is in the shade Pink Spirit, and then I kind of skipped the liquid liner in the inner corner shimmer and just went in with mascara. And for that, I went in with the Volume Mascara for Charmacy. This is the one that I got in my July Ice Cream Beauty box, and I've really been enjoying it. It's not my perfect formula, but I like what it does to my lashes. So let's chat about this palette real quick. So first of all, packaging, 10 out of 10, absolutely gorgeous. This is like almost like a vinyl feel, and then of course you have like the little, I can't think of what it's called, but you know, the little metal plate thing that they put on the palette. Let me know what it is down below. I'm having like a huge brain fart. But y'all, this palette is so beautiful. The shimmers in here are gorgeous. I love the selection. These two right here are so unique and so beautiful, but the mattes in this palette are so good. This is the good matte formula that I know Adept is capable of. I told y'all their mattes are hit or miss, and I didn't have any patching, any skipping, any fallout. They didn't fluff away when I started to blend them out. They are very pigmented and they look beautiful on the lid. I love the selection in here. I love that we got like bright, vibrant colors. This is a beautiful palette. I am excited for it. I'm excited to play with it. It breaks my heart that it's limited edition, but I completely get it. I'm sure these two shades right here are not easy to create. So yeah, I think if you have your eye on this palette and you really want to pick it up, go ahead and grab it. I don't think you'd be disappointed in it at all, because I don't think it's going to stick around forever, and I think this is a beautiful palette from the brand. I'm excited about it. But that is going to complete this video, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Did you pick any of these palettes up? Which look was your favorite? Or any of these palettes on your wish list? I want to know it all. Let's have that conversation. Light up that comment section, and as usual, I want to thank you all for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.